Welcome to National Income and Basic Concepts, and in this I'm going to talk about what is known as the difference between final goods and intermediate goods. And whenever there's a distinction, whenever this intermediate good thing comes, it doesn't come in consumer goods. It'll always come in producer goods. So that's a distinction. And there's a question that comes often, that why is intermediate good, the value of intermediate good, not counted in national income and only final goods? Well, because the value of the intermediate good is already counted or is already there in the final good. That is the reason. And in this, when we are talking about intermediate goods, final goods, we will also talk about what is known as a production boundary. It's very interesting. If you just see, it's quite good. And so this is what it is. You can just say we are going to talk about production boundary. So the production boundary, as we know, is important to understand the distinction between intermediate and final goods. Now this is an imaginary line around the producing sector of an economy. As long as the good remains within the production boundary, they remain intermediate goods. It is only when a good comes out of this boundary it becomes a final good. When we say that goods have crossed the boundary, it implies that goods are out of the process of production or the process of value addition. So value is added by the production units only within the production boundary. No value is added the moment a good crosses the production boundary. Okay, so this is what it is. So talking about, say, bread, whatever processes are there before, like the farmer producing the wheat turning into the into flour, sent to a flour mill, and then to a bakery. All the processes are within the production boundary. Once that product becomes a bread, it comes out, it steps out of the production boundary and it becomes a bread. So isn't it so very interesting? So and this absolutely significantly brings out the difference between a final good and an intermediate good. So what is a final good? Just looking at it, are those goods which are used either for final consumption or final investment. Now what are intermediate goods? Intermediate goods refer to those goods which are used either for further production or for resale in the same year. And remember, when you're talking about intermediate goods, it is always producer goods. So in the production process again, final goods do not pass through production process. Intermediate goods pass through the production processes, means there are many processes they have to clear within this production boundary. Then final goods are used for final use, but intermediate goods are used for further production. They have to be reused in a way. Final goods are included in the estimation of both national income and domestic income. Well, intermediate goods are not. They are not used. They are not added, because national income includes only the value of final goods. Why? Because the value of intermediate goods is already included in the value of final goods. Then, like for example, if I talk about milk purchased by a restaurant, what will it be? Yes, it will be intermediate good. If I say purchase of milk by consumer households or by the consumers, so then that is your final good. So if I say machines purchased by producers, what is this? It's a final good. But if I say cotton purchased by the producer or a firm, what is that? Well, that is an intermediate good. So I hope you've understood what is an production boundary here. So that's what it is, and it makes the production boundary makes the distinction between, to understand the distinction between final good and intermediate good very clear, especially in view of producer goods.